Hello, friends, and welcome back to Divij's World of Facts. My name's your host and host, Divijj Singh. This is part two of Decoding Russia China Relations. So, today we are going to talk about dependence. China and Russia are very dependent on each other since February 2022, Russian invasion of Ukraine. Is it good or is it bad? So today we are talking about this only. First, let's talk about the Russian dependency on China. Russia has vast resources of oil, gas, fresh water, and much, much more in its province named Siberia. Just a sec, I'm gonna show you Siberia. Look, friends, this area you're seeing in green. Look, this is Russia, this big old country, Russia, and this green region, which is like most 80% of Russia's land, is known as Siberia. It is a very mountainous region with lots of resources. Lake Lake Baikal is also present in here. I'm gonna show you again. Just a second. So, friends, look, this is Siberia, and the lake you're seeing here. Let me zoom in. Yes, the lake you're seeing in Buryata province, and Irkutsk. Quite difficult names to pronounce. Buryata and Irkutsk. Here's the Lake Baikal. So, China had requested Russia to connect a pipeline between Lake Baikal and Beijing because China has a deficiency here because China's rivers are very polluted because of the industrial base in China. So they were trying to make a pipeline, but the people had revolted against it so badly that they had responded very violently, so the Russians and Chinese governments had to stop making the pipeline. So, friends, coming back to the Russian dependency, Siberia has only 36.8 million people in it. You will be saying 36.8 million. It's quite a lot. Friends, look, 36.8 million people for such a small area is too less. Look, in this area, you can fit like in this area you can fit two to three Indias. So I mean, according to the land, there must be at least 3 billion people in here. If this region would be in South Asia, then there would be more than 3 billion people in it. But it has only like 100 times less, only 36.8 million. So this is just 20% of Russia's population. Russia's population is also very less for its area, 147 million. So it relies on its southern neighbor, People's Republic of China, China, of course, for to extract Siberian resources. This is actually a benefit for Russia. But because China extracts and exploits the Siberian resources, the Russians living in this area are known as Siberians. Siberians have a very negative sentiment towards China, so this cannot be said to be a benefit for Russia. So that means this is not a benefit for the Russian people, but it's benefit for the Russian government. So many Western news outlets say that Russia is an economic colony of the PRC. PRC, I'm gonna refer China to PRC as there's another China called Taiwan, Republic of China, and People's Republic of China. with that is China, which we know as the Big China today with 1.4 billion people. So many Western news outlets say that Russia is an economic colony of PRC because I mean Russia and PRC both are biggest and rivals of the United States. So they do this to break Sino-Russian relations and create a negative sentiment amongst the Western Russians, as the Western Russians comprise of 80% of the population, or 120 million people. S- No, Russia is not an economic colony of PRC. The TPRK, or North Korea we know as today, country ruled by Kim Jong Un, the dictatorship we know, can be said as an economic colony of China as it imports, 80 to 9, 60 to 80% of its trade imports. I've written imports. Does all 60 to 80% of its trade with the PRC. That means like China dominates that trade with DPR, North Korea. Meanwhile, Russia only does 22% of its trade with PRC. So how can Russia be an economic colony? So many people say that 22% is too much for such a big nation, and still Russia is an economic colony. You can see another example. Australia does 26% of its trade with the PRC, and so 26% more than 4% more than what Russia does with China, and is member of many anti-China groups. Quad, Japan, Australia, United States, India, AUKUS, Australia, United Kingdom, and the United States, and is also allies with many PRC enemies. United States, India, or the UK, Japan, Republic of China, or Taiwan. You see, if Australia can take again action against PRC with 26%, then Russia can too. And another example, India, 15% of its trade with China. Look, India is I mean, the biggest rival of China these days. Biggest because India has a border with China and many border conflicts are going on. Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. Not Arunachal Pradesh, but Aksai Chin. And India is also taking a lot of action against PRC. So Russia can also take against action against PRC. And Russia trades with many other countries too. The many other countries, Germany, although is in NATO and is a very yeah and is condemning Russian invasion of Ukraine, still it is trading with Russia because it imports most of its gas through Russia. Turkey is also in NATO and is a major Russian ally, and it is completely neutral between Russia and Ukraine. India, India, Russia and India do lot of arms trade. UAE also does a lot of trade with Russia. Bangladesh also does lot of trade, and the KSA Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan also trade in large quantities with Russia. So how can Russia be an economic colony of China? PRC. So let's talk about the Chinese dependency of PRC on the Russian Federation. China is dependent on Russia for its oil, gas, and fresh water from Lake Baikal. You see, Lake Baikal again is mentioned. So it can also not be claimed at all as an economic colony of Russia. It trades worldwide it trades worldwide with the United States, India, Japan, Vietnam, South Korea, North Korea, or DPRK. South Korea is known as the ROK, DPRK is North Korea, Hong Kong, and ROC, Taiwan. Even it trades with its enemies like USA, India, Japan, Vietnam, South Korea. I mean, except North Korea. All of these countries are a rival of the Chinese. So, friends, that was it for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. I'm gonna do a poll again. Which video do you want decoding Russia? I mean, now the decoding Russia-China relations is over. The series is over now because I have explained every aspect of Russia-China relations. As Russia is not an economic colony of China. China is not an economic colony of Russia. I have discussed the history in the last part, and I also said that Russia can take can take action against China. So I'm gonna tell you another thing that Chinese people hate. I mean, most Chinese people have hate towards Russia because Russia had exploited them in history as the Qing dynasty. So, bye, friends. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. I'm gonna do a poll. Do you want scope of tourism in India? You forgot that series I was making. Scope of tourism in India, part 2, temples, or important straits of the world, part 2, the Malacca Strait. Bye, friends.